Hello EDRL 425. This is a brief overview of the results of our first lesson plan. Everybody received full credit, but the rubric does reflect what you actually would have earned if we had been using the rubric for this lesson plan. Keep in mind that this, I know for many, is the very first lesson plan that you've ever written. And so the feedback is designed to be constructive and to help you with the lesson planning that you will be doing in your groups. Okay, so the lesson plans will be due in week 9, so we have 2 more weeks. Know that during week 8 you will have time in class to work on your lesson plans. If I scroll down, the lesson plan template is right here. It has several different parts. The first is a very detailed narrative of what to expect in the lesson plan, and then the next part is the lesson plan template, and this is what you will use to design your 3 lessons. The rubric is also included here in the syllabus, but it is also in our lesson plans, and so you can go back and look at that and see where you fit there. In the syllabus, you will be doing a sequence of lessons that will help students through the process of some sort of writing standard. And so we were assigned groups in class, and if you don't have one, you need to contact me immediately and we'll work out getting you into a group. There's a minimum of 3 lesson plans, but if you feel like you can't do a bell-to-bell experience in 3 different classes that would meet the learning objectives for your writing lessons, you can do more than 3 lessons. I would suggest that you do that if you are absent and you end up in a group of more than 3. You will also be submitting an individual reflection with your series of lessons. So one person will submit all of the lessons with everybody's name on it, and then you will each individually submit a 1.5 to 2 page reflection where you consider the process of designing the lesson and the connections that you see here. So in the series of lessons, you're going to think about how you would introduce it, what students would do, and how you would end the objectives for the learning. And that depends entirely on what you plan to do for your standard that you were assigned.
To find the assignment, you will go to the left-hand menu, click on Assignment. I've moved them to the top. The teaching writing lesson sequence is going to be where you will submit the lesson plans. Note that there is a rubric attached and you will be able to look at that and see what you will be assessed on. The reflection is individual, and so it will not be included in this part of the rubric. If I go back to assignments, after my group has turned in 1 series of lessons with everybody's name on it, only 1 person needs to do that, I will go to the reflection for lessons 3 to 5, and each individual person will submit that to Web Campus.
On the individual lessons, there are a few things that I noticed that were very common. First of all, make sure that you look at the comments in the rubric as well as on the documents. For this class, remember that we are not revising our lesson plans. Everybody got full credit. Instead, you're going to revise if you use it for your group work. The standards should be reflected in the objectives. Use only 1 to 2 standards and think about how many objectives you can reasonably meet in a class period, and all of the activities should be aligned with that. Think about how you delineate the activities, provide a time, and narrative is good, but break it into parts so that I can see what's happening exactly, like a picture in my mind of what's happening in the classroom. Think about your objectives. What should students expect in the future? Many of them were too broad to really be addressed in a bell-to-bell experience. Think about what students will learn and what they will do and how you will know when they have learned that. In the materials, they should be related to the lesson, and they must be included, and they have to align with the objectives. In the rubric, please revisit the idea of the introduction, think about hook and how you're going to engage the students and kind of set them up for the learning experiences. And also on closure, make sure that you bring that full circle. In other words, make sure you come back to the objectives and support the students in making connections between the learning objectives and what they had done in class. So help them make those connections. We would hope that they would have an aha moment there at the end. And then remember with the assessment, that's the how do you know that they've met the objectives.